Khabib Nurmagomedov just told Khamzat Chimaev to stop wrestling at UFC 319. And his reason might shock you. Although Khabib Nurmagomedov built his own legacy through relentless grappling and pressure-heavy wrestling, he surprisingly advises Khamzat Chimaev to abandon that strategy, at least early on, when facing Dricus du Plessis at UFC 319. According to Khabib, trying to force takedowns too early in the fight could be dangerous for Chimaev. While Chimaev is known for his dominant wrestling, Khabib believes the risk isn't worth it this time. If Khamzat tries to push too hard for takedowns and fails to secure a finish, he could burn through his cardio, especially since he's never fought beyond 3 rounds in his career. The fight is scheduled for 5 rounds, and that kind of energy management is crucial. Khabib emphasized that striking may be a safer and more effective route, saying that in a straight-up boxing exchange, Chimaev has the edge. He believes Khamzat is the better striker and should trust that skill rather than rely on his wrestling instinct. This advice is even more significant considering Khabib's own approach to MMA. He always came in with one plan: wrestle and dominate on the ground. For him to recommend the opposite shows he sees a unique danger in du Plessis' ability to absorb pressure and drag opponents into deep waters. Ultimately, Khabib is urging Chimaev to be strategic, conserve energy, and not assume his wrestling will automatically win in the belt. Because against someone as unpredictable and tough as du Plessis, one bad move could cost everything. If you're enjoying these daily UFC updates, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. MMA thread drops 2 to 3 fight breakdowns every single day, so stay locked in. Khabib Nurmagomedov didn't just offer tactical advice in isolation. He backed it up by analyzing Khamzat Chimaev's past performances, especially against Gilbert Burns and Kamaru Usman. In those fights, Chimaev started strong, often leaning on his aggressive grappling and physicality. However, as the rounds progressed, he noticeably shifted away from wrestling and began relying more on striking. This wasn't necessarily by design. It appeared to be the result of fatigue or perhaps a lack of trust in his gas tank over 3 rounds, let alone 5. Khabib pointed out that if Chimaev had chosen to strike from the start, rather than switch mid-fight, he might have had cleaner victories. This pattern shows that Chimaev's wrestling, while elite, is not always sustainable over longer fights. And if that's true in 3-round bouts, it raises even bigger concerns for a 5-round title fight at UFC 319. By acknowledging this recurring trend, Khabib is subtly suggesting that Chimaev should evolve, not just physically, but mentally. Going in with the mindset of "I'll just wreck him" might work in short fights, but against someone like Dricus du Plessis, who thrives in chaos and adversity, that kind of approach could backfire badly. The key lesson? Khamzat needs to break out of his old habits and enter this fight with a smarter, more adaptable game plan. One that doesn't just rely on what worked in the past. While Khabib focused on strategy and preparation, former middleweight champion Israel Adesanya offered a clear prediction for UFC 319. He believes Dricus du Plessis will win, and he thinks it'll happen late in the fight, most likely by a late-round finish. Adesanya's breakdown is based on styles and pace. According to him, if Khamzat Chimaev wins, it'll have to be early, in round 1 or 2, before the fight turns chaotic. But if it goes longer, Adesanya believes that favors Dricus, who is known for his unorthodox pressure, wild scrambles, and relentless pace. He called du Plessis chaotic good, while hinting at Chimaev's aggressive nature as chaotic evil, painting the fight as a clash of extremes. This prediction carries weight. Adesanya has shared the cage with du Plessis before and understands how tough and deceptively durable he is. He's not polished or technical like some of the division's top strikers, but he's effective in creating disorder and fatigue, exactly the kind of setting where a disciplined, explosive fighter like Chimaev might lose composure or cardio. Adesanya's point is this: the longer the fight goes, the more dangerous it becomes for Chimaev. In a 5-round war, du Plessis has the mental and physical resilience to push through damage and take over late. So if Chimaev can't get an early finish, he may walk into deep water and drown. For more fight news, predictions, and behind-the-scenes insights, smash that like button, subscribe to MMA Thread, and turn on the bell so you never miss a beat.